You exist not merely in a moment, but in a tapestry of infinite potential, a field of reality constantly humming with possibilities. What you perceive as your life, your experiences, your choices, your results, is only one strand of this vast energetic web. Every thought, every emotion, every subtle shift in attention sends ripples through the quantum ocean, inviting one potential to crystallize while leaving countless others in waiting. And yet most people drift through life unaware of this subtle orchestra, believing reality is fixed, linear, and outside of their influence. This is the veil that separates ordinary existence from quantum awakening. You are not bound by circumstance, heredity, or the rules of life as they appear. You are bound only by the coherence of your internal vibration, the alignment of your consciousness, body, and emotion with the frequency of the reality you wish to inhabit. The quantum does not answer to desire alone. It answers to resonance, not what you think you want, but who you are, vibrationally becoming in every micro moment. Consider this. Every heartbeat, every breath, every micro-expression is broadcasting a signal into the field. This signal is neither good nor bad. It is neutral, but it carries information. The field receives it and responds, mirroring back a reality that matches the dominant waveform of your existence. Dominant, not loudest, not wished for. Dominant. The waveform that your entire system, conscious, subconscious, and somatic, is vibrating right now is what collapses into manifestation. And herein lies the paradox. You can spend years affirming abundance, rehearsing love, visualizing health, yet remain locked in old loops if your body, your energy, and your nervous system are still attuned to scarcity, contraction, or fear. The quantum field does not lie. It does not judge. It reflects the frequency that is strongest, deepest, and most consistent in your entire being. It is mercilessly accurate. This is why change cannot be forced. Force is a dissonance. It fractures coherence. Pushing, striving, or attempting to manipulate outcomes from a place of tension simply reinforces the old vibration. Instead, quantum evolution asks you to inhabit the new state fully, as if you are already there, not as a concept, not as a hope, not as a future promise, but as a living, breathing waveform now. You do not chase timelines. You vibrate into them. Imagine your life as a multidimensional lattice, every potential version of you coexisting in harmonic resonance, each with its own frequency signature. You have the capacity to tune to any strand, any possibility, but tuning requires precision, attention, and embodied coherence. The universe is not a place to be convinced. It is a mirror to be aligned with. When your internal waveform resonates with a particular potential, the field collapses probabilities into the reality that corresponds to that frequency. The collapse is not in doing, it is in being. Being is alignment. Alignment is vibrational integrity across mind, heart, and body. It is the absence of internal contradiction, the dissolution of resistance, the full embodiment of a state that once existed only as a thought. When your posture, your breath, your emotions, your focus, and your habits all converge on the same frequency, you create a resonance so coherent that reality has no choice but to respond. This is quantum shift. Now, most people attempt manifestation through fragmented methods. They think, if I want love, I will visualize it, or if I want wealth, I will meditate on it. These methods are not wrong. They are signals, but they are incomplete. Visualization is only one layer of signal transmission. If your nervous system trembles with scarcity when you pay a bill, if your heart contracts in fear when someone approaches, if your energy hesitates at the threshold of opportunity, the quantum field reads those as dominant. The I want becomes drowned out by I am not ready. Quantum reality responds to wholeness. It requires a holistic waveform, where every element of your being participates in coherence. Think of it as a symphony. A single violin cannot carry the melody alone. It requires the participation of every instrument, every note in harmony. Your mind, emotions, body, and energy signature are all instruments in this symphony. When they align, the song of your desired timeline resonates into existence. This coherence is not a mental trick. It is not positive thinking or wishful intention. It is the realignment of your internal system to the vibrational pattern of the future you wish to inhabit. Your body remembers the old loops. Your nervous system craves familiar contractions, and your subconscious prefers the predictable patterns of survival. Quantum shift requires recognizing this inertia and gently, persistently reshaping your internal ecosystem until resonance with the desired frequency becomes natural. And here is where it becomes fascinating. In the quantum field, timelines do not compete. They coexist as a spectrum of probability. Each version of you is already vibrating, already present, already real. Shifting is not about creating from nothing. It is about tuning to a waveform that already exists and allowing your system to synchronize. In essence, quantum shifts are not about achieving. They are about receiving. Receiving requires tuning, not struggling. It requires embodiment, not theory. Your thoughts are merely surface waves on this deeper field of potential. Your emotions, your physicality, your subtle energy patterns carry exponentially more weight in the orchestration of reality. Fear, resistance, contraction. They vibrate loudly, even if your mind speaks optimism. Conversely, trust, openness, presence, they amplify the signal of your desired timeline in ways that visualization alone cannot achieve. The quantum field listens, responds, and mirrors according to this dominant frequency. Moment by moment, embodiment becomes the key practice. To embody is to become the waveform, the vibration, the timeline itself. If your desired reality is abundant, embodiment may manifest as spending, creating, or giving from a place of trust rather than scarcity. If it is love, embodiment may manifest as softening your posture, speaking with vulnerability, engaging with presence rather than defensiveness. If it is health, embodiment may manifest as movement, nutrition, rest, and breath chosen from a place of reverence for life rather than obligation. These practices are not rituals, they are vibrational signatures. Each microalignment sends a pulse into the quantum field, reinforcing the new pattern. Repetition matters, consistency matters. Small actions, when fully coherent, carry immense quantum weight. The field does not measure magnitude, it measures alignment. A single act, perfectly attuned, can outweigh months of misaligned effort. Resistance is the unseen gravity in the quantum dance. It is not external, it is internal. It manifests as overthinking, hesitation, distraction, or emotional contraction. It is the internal waveform that prefers the known, even if it is uncomfortable, over the unknown. Even if it is expansive, recognizing resistance is essential. Naming it, observing it, and gently redirecting your energy back into coherence dissolves its hold. Resistance is neutral. Your response to it determines whether it becomes a tether or a springboard. When you begin to master this internal calibration, the observer within you, the quantum witness, becomes the anchor of reality. Your observations are no longer fragmented or unconscious. Every thought, every emotional shift, every moment of attention contributes to the collapse of probabilities into the experience that matches your resonance. You are no longer a passenger of chance. You are a co-creator of unfolding reality, shaping outcomes from the inside out. To navigate this field effectively, you must cultivate a sensitivity to your internal frequency at all times. Begin by tuning into the microcurrents of your energy. Notice how your chest rises and falls with each heartbeat, how your breath flows, how subtle tension accumulates in your muscles or dissolves with movement. Every sensation is a signal from the quantum system within, revealing alignment or dissonance. Mastery begins with observation, not control. Witness your energy without judgment. Awareness itself adjusts the waveform, priming it for coherence. Next, cultivate vibrational intention. Intent is not mere desire. It is a state of focused energetic declaration. When you intend, do so with full system participation. Your mind understands the objective. Your emotions generate resonance. Your body enacts the signature, and your subconscious aligns silently beneath awareness. The more layers of your being participate in the signal, the more pronounced the waveform becomes, and the faster the field responds. Remember, intensity without integration fragments the signal, while integration amplifies it. Let us explore practical embodiment exercises that anchor quantum alignment into daily life. Start with micro-moment calibration. Throughout your day, identify moments where old patterns pull you into contraction. Pause, breathe deeply, and deliberately shift posture. Open the chest, relax the jaw, soften the brow. These subtle physical adjustments transmit a new frequency to the field. Even a 10-second realignment carries vibrational weight far beyond the mind's comprehension. Simultaneously, engage the emotion resonance technique. Emotional coherence requires tuning not to what you fear, but to what already exists vibrationally. If abundance is your focus, evoke gratitude as if the flow is uninterrupted, even in moments of apparent scarcity. If love is your intention, conjure warmth and presence toward yourself first, then outward toward others. Emotional energy is the amplifier of the waveform, and the field cannot distinguish between realized and embodied. It only responds to authenticity and vibration. Breathwork is the bridge between body and quantum field. Conscious, rhythmic breathing aligns your nervous system with higher states of resonance. Inhale with expansion, exhale with release, allowing tension, fear, and habitual contraction to dissolve. Visualize each breath as tuning the entire system to the frequency of your desired timeline. This practice alone can shift your dominant signal faster than any mental exercise, because the quantum field responds to living waveform, not conceptual intention. Beyond microalignments, practice temporal projection, experiencing yourself as the version who already inhabits your desired reality. Move through your day with the posture, choices, and reactions of that future self. Speak, gesture, and respond from that frequency, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. This is not pretending. It is tuning your internal instrument to a pre-existing waveform. The field recognizes coherence, not story, and responds instantly. Another crucial principle is energetic subtraction, removing internal signals that contradict your desired timeline. Resistance, doubt, scarcity consciousness, and habitual contraction carry disproportionate weight. Identify recurring thought patterns and emotional triggers that send dissonant signals, then consciously release or replace them. It may involve pausing before reacting, reframing habitual narratives, or choosing stillness over habitual overactivity. Every act of subtraction clears the channel for stronger resonance. Rituals as anchoring devices can accelerate alignment. Use sound, frequency, or movement to codify the new waveform into your body and nervous system. Sacred tones, mantras, or symbolic gestures are not magical by themselves. They serve as markers reminding the subconscious of coherence. When repeated consistently, these markers integrate the new timeline into the deepest layers of your system, allowing shifts to occur naturally without constant conscious effort. Energy mapping is another advanced technique. Track the flow of energy throughout your body in relation to your daily actions and choices. Notice where energy stagnates in the chest, stomach, or shoulders. Observe moments when excitement, inspiration, or creativity surges. Map these energetic highs and lows alongside emotional and behavioral patterns. Over time, you will recognize which internal states consistently produce resonance with your desired reality and which anchor you in old loops. Energy mapping cultivates precision in vibrational navigation. A powerful tool for deep alignment is subconscious scripting. Your subconscious governs the majority of your vibrational output, often overriding conscious intention. Engage it by creating detailed sensory-rich internal narratives of the reality you wish to inhabit. Imagine tactile sensations, sounds, textures, relationships, and environmental cues, as though fully immersed. This forms a neural and energetic template reinforcing coherence across multiple dimensions of your being. The more complete the script, the stronger the resonance. Interpersonal resonance is also critical. Every interaction carries a waveform. When engaging with others, align with the frequency of your desired timeline rather than reacting to external contraction. Project calm, openness, and trust. Your energy subtly influences the field, and by extension the people around you. Collective coherence magnifies individual resonance, creating feedback loops that accelerate timeline shifts. Surrounding yourself with others who inhabit complementary frequencies also reinforces your alignment. Now, we move to quantum feedback loops, understanding how subtle shifts create compounded outcomes. Every aligned act, every coherent thought, every embodied choice generates feedback into the field, which returns amplified expressions of the same frequency. Notice synchronicities, small opportunities, and coincidences as responses from the field. These are confirmations that your internal system is attuning correctly. Engage with them, respond coherently, and allow the loop to reinforce itself. Anchoring practices help sustain these shifts throughout long-term integration. Begin each day with a tuning ritual. Close your eyes, sense your internal vibration, and calibrate to the frequency you wish to inhabit. Reaffirm alignment through breath, micro-movement, or visualization. End each day by acknowledging moments of coherence, reinforcing them in memory and energy. This builds a stable baseline for your waveform, ensuring that minor perturbations do not collapse the system back into old timelines. The paradox of patience in quantum alignment must also be acknowledged. Timelines shift, not by forcing or waiting, but by consistent, embodied tuning. Moments of apparent delay are not failure. They are micro-adjustments of the field to synchronize fully with your dominant frequency. Trust the subtle orchestration of the universe, and let impatience dissolve. Every act of embodied patience strengthens your waveform, ensuring long-term stability and precision in manifestation. Multi-layered resonance takes alignment to the next level. Coherence is no longer isolated to mind, body, or emotion alone. It is systemic, spanning identity, habits, relationships, and environment. Align your schedule, your environment, your diet, your communication style, and your mental focus with the signature of your desired timeline. The more dimensions you synchronize, the more dominant and unambiguous your waveform becomes. In quantum reality, ambiguity dilutes signal, clarity and coherence amplify it exponentially. A subtle yet profound strategy is vibrational repetition with variation. Repeat alignment practices daily, but introduce minor variations to ensure adaptability and resilience of the waveform. Shift posture slightly, vary breath patterns, or explore new microactions within the same coherent state. This trains the system to maintain resonance despite external fluctuations, embedding stability without rigidity. In essence, you are teaching your energy system flexibility within coherence. Emotional alchemy is another advanced practice. Transmute habitual emotional contractions into alignment signals. For example, when fear arises, sense it fully without resistance, then consciously release it into expansive trust. When frustration appears, allow its energy to reorganize into clarity and flow. Emotional energy is fluid, not fixed. Learning to transmute contraction into resonance is akin to refining raw material into pure vibrational currency that the field recognizes and responds to. Spatial resonance, the influence of your surroundings, cannot be ignored. The spaces you inhabit carry accumulated energy that can either support or hinder coherence. Arrange your environment to amplify alignment. Light, sound, color, movement and flow of objects can subtly cue your nervous system into vibrational harmony. Even small spatial adjustments, when executed consciously, reinforce internal resonance and signal readiness to the quantum field. Finally, advanced practitioners incorporate time-frequency integration. Past conditioning and future potentials both emit residual signals. By tuning consciously to the now and consciously releasing past contractions, you prevent historical loops from contaminating your present waveform. Simultaneously, by imagining future states with full sensory detail and coherence, you allow the system to pre-align with outcomes before external manifestation. This integration of temporal dimensions strengthens the dominant signal across the full quantum spectrum. Sustaining quantum alignment is not a one-time event, it is a lifestyle of coherent calibration. Each micro-choice, each act of presence, each breath, each posture, each interaction, is a brushstroke in the painting of your new reality. The field responds instantaneously, not because you deserve it, not because you force it, but because you are no longer fragmented. You have become a unified waveform, a living signal, and a conscious participant in the orchestration of infinite possibilities. The culmination of these practices leads to embodied timeline mastery, a state where the old patterns no longer hold sway, where fear, resistance, and contraction are no longer dominant, where every cell, thought, and action vibrates in coherence with your desired existence. In this state, the collapse of probabilities into your chosen reality becomes natural, effortless, and continuous. You are no longer waiting for the field to respond. You are the frequency that guides it. Quantum shift is therefore not a technique, a trick, or a theory. It is an embodied existence. It is the art and science of becoming the resonance of the reality you desire, moment by moment, choice by choice, waveform by waveform. Every step, no matter how small, carries the power to transform the invisible into the tangible, the potential into the actual, and the dream into the lived experience.